Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The French president has rejected a resignation offer from the prime minister he appointed after their coalition lost its majority on Sunday. Emmanuel Macron is now under pressure to secure support from rivals to fulfill his government's reform agenda. But neither Marine Le Pen's far-right nor Jean-Luc Mélenchon's left-green alliance are keen to work with him. Minority governments are a rarity in France, and Mr Macron's Ensemble alliance is 44 seats shy of a majority. This means he will need to find support from mainstream MPs from both the left and right side of politics to help build a working majority. Floods continue to batter Bangladesh, hampering residents' access to food, on top of leaving at least 32 dead since late last week. Bangladesh had experienced monsoon downpours that triggered catastrophic flooding in the northeastern Sylhet district, leaving around a quarter of its 15 million population stranded amid fast rising waters and swollen rivers. Government authorities are attempting to deliver 1,720 tonnes of rice and 58,000 packets of dry food, as well as water purification tablets and medicines to flood-hit communities. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called Africa a hostage of Russia's war during an address to the African Union.
In an emergency for the whole world.
Russia's invasion and its blockade of Ukraine's grain exports have sparked grain and fertilizer shortages and put millions of people at risk of hunger. The blockade has sent food prices soaring. Meanwhile, the Donetsk regional governor released footage that he said showed a fire at a school in Advivka after it was hit by Russian shelling. He said school number 6 is the third one in the city to be damaged, claiming there have been around 200 schools destroyed in the Donetsk region since the invasion. Hollywood actor Ben Stiller has met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and described him as being his hero.
It's a great honor for me, and nice to see you. It's really wonderful. You're my hero. You're amazing. Yes.
Stiller spoke with Zelensky during a visit that included a stop in Irpin, the scene of heavy fighting early in the Russian invasion. He went as part of his role as the ambassador for the United Nations Refugee Agency. He's been working as a goodwill ambassador to the UNHCR since 2016. The co-winner of the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize and the editor of Russia's largest major independent newspapers has auctioned off his Nobel medal for a record $103.5 million. Dmitry Muratov said the proceeds from the auction, which coincided with the World Refugee Day, go towards Ukrainian child refugees. Muratov's Novoya Gazeta newspaper, fiercely critical of President Vladimir Putin and his government, suspended operations in Russia in March after warnings from the state over its coverage of the war in Ukraine. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has denied interfering with the country's judiciary over delays in the presentation of the final report of a corruption inquiry. The commission, headed by Justice Raymond Zongo, investigated allegations of widespread corruption in South Africa during President Jacob Zuma's 9 years in power, known as state capture. It already handed over its first, second, third and fourth reports and was due to present the final part of its findings. This has, however, been delayed several times amid allegations of interference. The first of 3 national rail strikes this week is disrupting the journeys of millions of commuters across England, Scotland and Wales. The action by members of the RMT union is over pay and redundancies, with 2 more strikes planned for Thursday and Saturday.
Good morning. I want to say something about the rail strikes that are today causing...
Boris Johnson described them as an unnecessary aggravation, but says commuters must be prepared to stay the course in the face of the walkouts. The Prime Minister told a meeting of the Cabinet that reforms were needed on the railways. And finally, after 2 long years of COVID restrictions, the Great Stone Circle of Stonehenge has reopened for summer solstice celebrations. Pagans, healers, nature lovers and partygoers all headed to Salisbury Plain to celebrate the longest day of the year. A live stream of the sunset and sunrise at Stonehenge was organised for those who preferred to view it from afar. Around 6,000 people joined together to watch the sunrise just before 5 a.m. in a ritual that goes back centuries. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.